Which are the top 5 beef exporting countries in the world? Damn. Can you say that? Can you say that out loud in the camera, please?
Are you a vegan?
Do I sound like a vegan?
Definitely do.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question, and the answer to which most probably you will not know, and that is perfectly all right. You can take a guess. Which are the top 5 beef exporting countries in the world?
China.
China. Good guess because of the size of the country, but no, it's not.
US.
Okay.
Germany.
No.
Turkey, maybe?
No.
No.
Australia.
Yeah. Australia is there on the list. Good.
Spain. Okay. And
Go with the obvious one.
USA.
USA, that's there in the list. Yeah, it's Australia, Argentina. One is Brazil, which is on number 1. USA is on 3rd, Australia is on 4th, Argentina is on 5th. Can you take the guess for the second ranked country?
I think it's India and it's Kerala mostly.
Would you be surprised to know that it's India?
Oh, really? I am surprised. Yes.
I can't imagine.
You can't imagine, right? So India is the second largest beef exporter in the world in the year 2023. So why are you not shocked about it?
Because we are Bangaloreans and we in these like inside small streets they sell beef. I've seen it on my own. So
You can't deny people who are in Delulu.
not just that. Like it's not just like because of Hindus or Muslims. There are other religions also.
Yeah.
Since it's a diverse country,
Yeah.
there are people with different perspectives and they're okay with eating those animals. So
And also the beef ban, the whole controversies about the indigenous cows. And what we export is the Kara beef, that is the flesh of the buffaloes and hybrid and the Jersey cows.
That's sad to know.
It's sad to know, right?
Yeah.
The personal question, do you support or consume beef by any chance?
vegetarian.
Vegetarian. And like, what is your stance on it? Right? Do you think it's okay?
It's not okay.
It's not okay to kill any animals.
Okay,
So
great.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
not okay. Obviously, cows.
Okay. Even I'm of the same opinion. Now, the next piece of information is also going to come as a surprise that the animals in the beef industry are the same animals who are coming from the dairy industry. It's not a separate animal.
I'm sure, yes. Once they are milked enough, they are sent for.
Because usually it's always the male.
It's always the male
yeah.
and also the mothers once she can't give milk.
I knew that.
Similar lines, you would be pleased to know. We used to eat non-veg and
And
and now we don't eat.
both of you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Vegetarian.
And
I am Bengali and
damn. Can you say that? Can you say that out loud in the camera, please?
I am Bengali and I have stopped eating non-vegetarian for past 8-9 years. I don't eat fish, no chicken, no mutton, nothing.
So both of you went vegetarian for animal ethics.
Yes.
And like how? Can you tell us this story?
I don't know. I have pets. I have 2 dogs,
Yeah.
and I just felt like it's like eating eating any animal is like eating our own pet.
You thought from the victim's perspective. And how about you?
For me, I am a Gujarati. So
You were vegetarian right from the
yes, right from the beginning I was a vegetarian, but then living outside, living in hostels, and then being on my own, I was abroad for some time. And this is when I was in Germany. I was in Munich, and the staple food there is beef pork and all of that. And somehow I just felt that I don't want to do this anymore, and
now
so that
you
was my
are a
story.
ethical
Full on
vegetarian.
vegetarian, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So then this conversation will be much easier than I thought. Now the important question is that if we have this knowledge, then the beef industry and the dairy industry, it's like the same industry. It's like the same supply chain. Dairy is extracted in the beginning of the supply chain, beef at the end of the supply chain. So this is an important and a difficult question. Then do you think that the people who are consuming milk are also responsible for beef?
I actually try to minimize its product. I personally feel.
Can you please tell us why did you say that?
Because it's against their consent. We all require consent from animals. And
But you chose the term, right? Why did you say that?
Because if you imagine it for ourselves, it is just like that.
Yeah. Were you aware of this? What she said?
No.
Yeah. Can you tell what your point is?
No mother would like to give the milk to anybody else other than their own baby. And
is one
if
point.
someone would do that to me, I would feel like it's an animal.
Can we begin with the economy of our country and the whatever like wage people get? Do you think they can afford almond milk? Do you think they can afford soy milk? It's not affordable. And whatever milk that's given to the calf, whatever, that is after the calf is given enough milk, post that, what is left out, that's given. And whatever you get in these booths, whatever, that's not pure milk, that's mixed with water.
very true.
So that's fine. And with like whatever, it should be also affordable for people.
Yeah.
Okay, so it should be sustainable at the same time.
That is
And
true.
beef, you're like animal cruelty, that's never agreed. Like
True,
that's
true.
not done.
Okay, so you are essentially saying that dairy is important, but beef is animal cruelty, right? And what you said, I mean, forget about the almond milk and the plant-based milk because they are not produced at scale.
I'm about it because nowadays there are podcasts coming out telling that dairy is not good for your gut health.
That is also there, but we are keeping aside the health aspect. But I totally acknowledge your point that almond milk and these milks are really costly. So, but even let's keep those milks aside, right? dairy, the milk the price that we pay for the milk, the regular dairy milk, right?
$21.
Yeah, that is subsidized because of the beef industry. Let's say there is no beef industry and the dairy farmer is supposed to take care of these animals in a nice way, not subject them to cruelty. Then they're
So you're telling he's selling those cows and that's how he's making revenue and that's how he's taking care of the ones that are producing dairy. Is that your point?
No, my point is that since he doesn't have to take care of the male calves and the retired mothers, so there is a significant decrease in expenses. If we want them to take care of them, then the expenses will shoot up significantly and hence they will have to sell at a higher price to make profit. And also it's a simple geometric progression. If you think about it, they start with 2 cows in 1 year and they are making them pregnant every year. In 10 years, they'll have like some 300 cows or buffaloes. Like I've done the calculation.
See, it's all and like veganism is good and all, but how
Right, then
far
talk
is
about
it-
veganism.
No, but that would what it would lead to because if you're not using whatever dairy and how else would, especially me as a vegetarian, I obviously don't get in that much protein.
You have captured the problem correctly. I'll just fill in the gaps there so that you have full knowledge on the subject. And you use the term that is actually applicable in the dairy industry in the true sense because these animals are subjected to continuous cycles of pregnancy right from the time they hit puberty, right? And one of the most common methods of pregnancy, because it's very efficient for the dairy farmer, is that of artificial insemination, where the semen of the bull is collected and then inserted inside the private parts of these animals.
Just cows and dogs are doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. But dogs, if you have companion animals, we take measures to ensure that they don't get pregnant so many times, right?
Breeders are doing it.
And hence we say adopt, don't shop. In the case of dogs, we have that
Not
awareness.
just one animal.
Of course,
It's
of course.
multiple.
Yeah, that is one thing. And artificial insemination, if you see the pictures, it's very disturbing, right? Like it would classify as sexual abuse only the way it is done, and it's a very common practice everywhere, right? It's against their consent, and it's very painful as well. I think this is one of the biggest misconceptions which people have, that we need dairy to get a lot of nutrient. In reality, we are essentially getting 2 major nutrients from dairy. One is protein, that is when we drink 200 ml of milk, and calcium, right? 200 ml of milk, approximately 5 grams of protein, and 200 ml of milk, around 150 to 200 milligrams of calcium. That is very easily replaceable by the traditional Indian plant-based diet like dal and all the Indian spices like jeera and til. They are high in calcium. So from what I see, I don't think there is a need for us for almond milk and soy milk unless we are trying to replace something which we are addicted to like tea or coffee. Then it's about
Exactly.
taste and desire.
Exactly.
It's not about nutrition and need anymore.
How much do you think the milk industry, whatever, how much revenue do you think
of
they
course,
make?
it's a
And
huge
how do you think you're going to impact the whole economy out of that? Okay, because we're not just thinking about one aspect, we're thinking about multiple aspects. We're talking about the country's overall development, the GDP and all of that. So you can't just consider one thing. If this drops, we need to have, substitute good that is equally as good and very sustainable to everybody. It's not just like the upper class gets it. Even it should be affordable to everybody.
True, that's a very fair point. But like I said, it's not about the upper class because everyone can replace milk with dal and all of these stuff, right?
I feel it's more than milk, cheese has been considered.
Yeah, cheese. And cheese is anyway consumed by the upper class.
Tastes good.
Yeah, so now taste is a separate issue. Like desire is a separate issue, right?
Yeah, but that's also coming in the bracket of this. This factor will also affect that. So you need to think about that as well.
So then it comes down to the question that can our desire justify animal abuse? It's a fair
If
question.
it's not harming it that much to that extent, then yes.
That much
Like I told you, whatever you get, that's not pure milk. They add milk powders, they add water to that. So it's not pure. So you're not harming animals to that extent. So if that's where like you fall under, then it's great. But if you're still like going for like pure organic,
But can we define, like, because when I talk about abuse, right, I think it should be eradicated completely, be it any victim, human victim, animal victim, there should not be any degree of abuse. But even if we say that there should be this much level of abuse is acceptable, who's to define that? And animals have not signed up for this.
are you a vegan?
Like, do I sound like a vegan?
Definitely do.
That a vegan is someone who outright rejects animal as commodities. You talked about consent, right? That is a very powerful word actually. That these animals never consented to be exploited by us.
If I walk into your house, would you be using
100%
100% organic,
Not organic, but yeah, vegan. Yeah.
yeah,
So,
animal.
yeah. If you walk into my house, you'll find everything vegan. Something to think about.
Yes, of course.
You know why to go vegan. You just need to know how to go vegan, right?
So what about all the other animal cruelties? You're just focusing on one thing.
No,
So
we are
what's your action plan?
Okay. So there are 2 questions there. I'll answer this easier one. What about all the other animals? So what we stand for is complete animal liberation. That is, all animals should be free from human cruelty. That is the first question. So, and it depends. Sometimes I talk about eggs, sometimes I talk about poultry industry and all of that. All animals is in the purview of animal liberation. Action plan is very simple. It's a 3-step plan actually. One is to create awareness like this. Second is to make people think so that they go vegan. And the last step is that will happen probably 5-10 years down the line when we have enough number of vegans. That is when we are going to start championing for policy level changes. Like my
That's
ultimate.
not sustainable. Not everybody who's like, see, the whole, like, if you go like 400 years back, okay, the whole point of like environment and nature, that's the cycle of environment, right? Like, so if you don't kill it, some other animal will take it as a prey. So it's not just you, that's a human cycle. Okay, so you
human
can't.
food cycle.
Yeah, that's a human food cycle. So that is impossible. It's just that awareness, fine, action should be like something. It should be impacting something else. Okay, maybe if you could, like how you told, like beef and all should be like, if you could gradually get the percentage down, that would be great. But according to me, my personal opinion is it cannot gradually go down. I'm a vegetarian, but to some people, they've been growing up with these, and
I know I was that people, and I know so many vegans
yeah,
now.
but not everybody has that much empathy. There's too much cruelty in this
And
world.
that is what we are championing for, empathy. You said 400, 500 years back, right? Women right was under question so many years back. In the US, women were not even allowed to vote, right? So society progresses only when we pause and acknowledge our biases, our the discriminatory factor that we have, that we do towards different communities of people and animal. We reflect on that and we change from there, right?
Anyways, that's my opinion. You've taken a good initiative.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
that.
It's definitely something to think about, not just me, but a whole lot of us, because the fact that everybody knows that the animals who have to go through so much of pain and so much of inconvenience just to, satisfy our taste buds needs, it's just unfair, and I agree. It's just that the way we are brought up, and the fact that was put in our head that milk is a balanced diet, and then you have to, you're grown up that way, that it is fed into your heart, and your taste bud are so habituated to that particular thing, that to take this out of your mind and your daily routine and habit, it has to be some feeling that comes from inside, some feeling of compassion, and
That's very smartly put. You use the term unfair, that is like the apt usage. It's an injustice to these animals. You said that we have been fine-tuned to consume these products, which is essentially that we have been normalized to this form of violence. We don't even see this as violence, and we don't see them as victims. So that is very rightly put, and you said that we need to have some sort of triggering of compassion from within, and that is the objective of this conversation, because I believe that not every, but most human beings are compassionate by default. We have no idea about the connection on what's on our plate versus where that food is coming from, right? So thank you so much for this conversation, and this was one of my best conversations today because of what you said, that you already turned ethical vegetarian and you're just there and be a vegan, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for organizing this.
Yeah. If you don't, then 5 years down the line, I'm going to come back again with policy changes.
Is this you?
Yeah, that's me. And the ultimate goal is that someday all of this becomes illegal. That is the thing that we'll try
That's
for.
the goal, but I don't know how practical.
I know.
That is.
It's highly impractical, but
But it's okay. It's the thought that counts as the initiative.
I mean, yeah. What these animals are going through, someone has to speak up. You emphasize again and again on being a vegetarian, so please just watch a documentary called Maa Ka Doodh on YouTube. It's about the Indian dairy industry, not the West. From this conversation, if I have to make a guess, I would say that you both are decently high on compassion and empathy. And my guess would be that you would be in tears when you watch them.